one more. I drop another headbutt, one more. As I'm in midair, Andre goes like this. Poof!
Sirens wail as a burly firefighter rushes into a burning building. His tattooed head glistens with sweat, revealing an unexpected design. Flames. This isn't just any firefighter, it's Bam Bigelow, once a feared 400-pound wrestler. "I'm just a regular guy trying to do good," Bigelow once said. These humble words contrast sharply with his intimidating appearance, challenging our perceptions of heroism. How does a man known for his imposing presence in the wrestling world become a community pillar? Bigelow's transformation from the ring to rescue work is a testament to the complexity of the human spirit, redefining what it means to be a hero. In the raucous world of professional wrestling, few figures loomed as large as Bam Bigelow. Standing at 6'4" and weighing 400 pounds, Bigelow was a physical anomaly even in a sport known for larger-than-life characters. His head, adorned with intricate flame tattoos, became an iconic image that struck fear into opponents and captivated audiences worldwide. Born Scott Charles Bigelow in Asbury Park, New Jersey in '61, his path to wrestling stardom was far from conventional. Growing up in a tough neighborhood, Bigelow found an outlet in high school wrestling, quickly making a name for himself as a formidable heavyweight. Bigelow's entry into professional wrestling in the mid-1980s presented challenges. Despite his impressive stature, he had to work tirelessly to develop a character that would resonate with audiences. Undeterred by skepticism from promoters, Bigelow pushed his body to its limits, developing a surprisingly agile in-ring style. His signature moonsault, a backflip from the top rope, became a jaw-dropping spectacle that defied expectations for a man of his size. As Bigelow's skills grew, so did his villainous persona. He embraced the role of the heel with gusto, his intimidating appearance enhanced by the flame tattoos. Bigelow's character was that of an unstoppable monster, a human wrecking ball that left destruction in his wake. This persona catapulted Bigelow to prominence in various wrestling promotions. He made waves in the World Wrestling Federation, now WWE, Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, and World Championship Wrestling, DCU. His matches against wrestling legends like Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, and Taz became the stuff of wrestling lore, cementing his status as one of the most feared villains in the industry. However, the life of a professional wrestler, especially one of Bigelow's size and style, took a significant toll. The constant travel, punishing matches, and pressure to maintain his imposing physique began to wear on him. Behind the scenes, Bigelow grappled with the physical pain of injuries and the mental strain of living up to his fearsome reputation. As his career progressed, a growing sense of dissatisfaction began to gnaw at Bigelow. The adulation of fans and the thrill of performing couldn't quell a deepening unease. He started to question the disparity between his public image and his true self. Was he destined to be forever seen as the monster, the villain, the beast? Or was there more to Bam Bigelow than the flames on his head and the fear he instilled in the ring? This internal conflict marked a turning point in Bigelow's life. As his wrestling career reached its zenith, he found himself yearning for something more meaningful, something that would allow him to shed the villainous persona and reveal the man beneath the tattoos. It was in this state of personal and professional flux that Bigelow began to hear the call of a very different kind of heroism. As the roar of the crowd faded and the spotlight dimmed, Bam Bigelow found himself grappling with a challenge far more daunting than any opponent he'd faced in the ring. The man who had built his career on being larger than life now struggled with the weight of his own identity. Behind the intimidating facade of lame tattoos and snarling promos, Scott Bigelow harbored a complexity that few fans ever glimpsed. His family knew a different side of the man, one that craved normalcy and connection. Bigelow's wife, Dana, often spoke of his gentle nature at home. "Scott was always so tender with our kids," she would later recall. "He'd read them bedtime stories and tuck them in, those massive hands of his so careful and loving." This dichotomy between his public and private selves created constant tension in Bigelow's life. His size, once his greatest asset in the ring, now brought daily struggles. Fitting into restaurant booths or airplane seats became an embarrassing ordeal. The flames on his head, once a symbol of his wrestling prowess, felt like a prison of expectations. Bigelow's battle with his weight was relentless in public. Wrestling promotions pushed him to maintain his imposing size, even as his body protested. He fluctuated between 400 and 500 pounds, each change scrutinized by fans and critics. The pressure to embody the monster heel character took its toll, physically and emotionally. In quiet moments, Bigelow questioned his path. He had achieved fame and fortune, but at what cost? He yearned to be seen as more than just a wrestling spectacle, to be recognized for his humanity and capacity for kindness. This internal struggle led him to reach out to local charity, often anonymously. He volunteered at soup kitchen, finding fulfillment in these acts of kindness that contrasted sharply with his public image. As Bigelow approached his late 30s, chronic pain from years of high-impact moves plagued him daily. The moonsaults that had once defied gravity now seemed like distant memories. He found himself envying the simplicity of a normal life, a luxury his fame and size had long denied him. It was during this period of introspection that Bigelow had a life-altering experience. While visiting his hometown in New Jersey, he witnessed a house fire. Without hesitation, Bigelow rushed to help, using his immense strength to assist firefighters in rescuing trapped residents. As he carried a child to safety, Bigelow experienced a sense of purpose he had never known in the wrestling ring. This intense experience sparked a realization in Bigelow. He had spent years playing a villain, but now he saw an opportunity to be a real-life hero. The idea of becoming a firefighter took root in his mind, offering a chance to use his physical gifts for genuine good, to shed the persona of Bam Bam and simply be Scott Bigelow, a man helping his community. As Bam Bam Bigelow traded his wrestling tights for firefighter gear, a new chapter in his life unfolded. The man once known for striking fear into his opponents now faced a different kind of challenge, one that would test his resolve, reshape his identity, and ultimately redefine his legacy. Bigelow's entry into firefighter training was met with curiosity and skepticism. His 400-pound frame and flame tattoos stood out among his fellow trainees. The physical demands pushed him to his limits. He struggled to fit through tight spaces during search and rescue drills, and often found himself breathless after climbing just a few flights of stairs in full gear. But he persevered, staying late after each session to improve his stamina. The mental challenges were just as daunting. Bigelow had to shift from showmanship to selfless service. He studied fire behavior and emergency medical procedures with intense focus. His wrestling experience unexpectedly helped him stay calm during high-stress simulations. As Bigelow progressed, he volunteered for additional shifts and participated in community outreach programs. The public began to see him as Scott the firefighter, not Bam Bam the wrestler. This transformation challenged perceptions of professional wrestlers, sparking conversations about the complexity of individuals behind their public images. Bigelow's defining moment came during a severe apartment fire. As part of the response team, he entered the burning building to search for trapped residents. The intense heat and thick smoke disoriented him momentarily, bringing back memories of pyrotechnic mishaps in the wrestling ring, but he pushed through, using his strength to break down a jammed door. Inside, he found an elderly woman unconscious on the floor. Without hesitation, Bigelow scooped her up and carried her to safety. As he emerged from the building, his colleagues cheered. This heroic act solidified Bigelow's new identity. Local news coverage focused on his bravery as a firefighter, not his wrestling past. For Bigelow, it was a moment of profound satisfaction. He had proven to himself and others that he was more than his wrestling persona. His journey from the wrestling ring to the firehouse was complete, marking a transformation that went far beyond a simple career change. Balancing two worlds as different as professional wrestling and firefighting would challenge even the most adaptable person. For Bam Bam Bigelow, this dual life became a defining aspect of his later career, reshaping not only his own identity, but also the perceptions of those around him. As Bigelow committed to firefighter training, he faced the task of managing his wrestling obligations. The physical demands of firefighting often left him exhausted, impacting his wrestling persona. Yet, he persisted in both roles, driven by a sense of responsibility to his wrestling legacy and his new purpose as a first responder. This duality created stark contrasts in Bigelow's life. He might sign autographs at a wrestling event one day, then anonymously battle a blaze the next. This juxtaposition challenged Bigelow to reconcile his showman persona with his role as a public servant, altering his perspective on his wrestling career. Bigelow's experiences in the fire service led him to view his wrestling character differently. The theatricality of wrestling felt less significant compared to the real-world heroism he witnessed among firefighters. This shift brought a new depth to Bigelow's in-ring performances, noticed by fans and colleagues alike. His dual career affected his relationships in the wrestling community. Some admired his commitment to public service, while others questioned his dedication to wrestling. Despite these challenges, Bigelow found innovative ways to merge his two worlds. He used his wrestling fame to promote fire safety and community service. At autograph signings, Bigelow distributed fire safety literature alongside signed photos. During interviews, he spoke about the importance of smoke detectors and fire escape plans, topics far removed from typical wrestling promos. Bigelow collaborated with local fire departments to create wrestling-themed safety campaigns. His unique status as a wrestling firefighter made school fire safety assemblies unexpectedly popular. He organized demonstrations where he showcased proper escape techniques while wearing his wrestling attire, capturing children's attention in a memorable way. The convergence of Bigelow's wrestling and firefighting worlds culminated in a charity event. He participated in a wrestling exhibition match to support local fire departments, entering the ring in an outfit that combined the elements of his wrestling gear with firefighter insignia. This visual representation of his dual identity resonated deeply with fans and fellow first responders. Reflecting on his journey, Bigelow found that wrestling gave him fame, but firefighting gave him purpose. He learned that true strength wasn't just about physical power, but about using his influence to make a difference in people's lives. For Bigelow, this event marked a turning point. He had found a way to honor his wrestling legacy while embracing his role as a community hero. The man once known only for his intimidating presence in the ring was now recognized for his courage both in and out of it. Bigelow's journey proved that reinvention and growth were possible even for those typecast by their public personas. Bam Bigelow's journey from feared wrestling villain to respected firefighter exemplifies personal transformation. His story challenges us to look beyond appearances, showing that even intimidating figures can possess deep compassion and courage. Bigelow's legacy extends beyond wrestling, touching lives in his community. The former flame-tattooed wrestler became a symbol of selfless service, demonstrating that heroism often emerges unexpectedly. His dual roles broke stereotypes and revealed the complexity of public figures. As Bigelow once said, "Life's about second chances. I got mine as a firefighter. What unexpected path might lead you to make a difference?" Bigelow's story reminds us that transformation is possible for anyone willing to take that first step.